Welcome to the Full Bull Podcast, where we discuss all things bio-nanogenomics. We hope everyone's doing well and that the information presented here can both inform and entertain. It's important to state that nothing here is financial advice, and no one on the Full Bull Podcast is a financial advisor. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hey, and welcome to the Full Bull Podcast. We have an incredibly jam-packed show for you, and we are so grateful for the amazing support, likes, listens, and views that we've been getting. You guys out there are absolutely amazing, and we thank you for this. If this is your first time, let me go ahead and introduce you to this week's Bulls. We have investor extraordinary Jeff, a.k.a. Jefford. We have researcher of all things House of Gains, a.k.a. Henry. We have our house philo time provider, Michael, a.k.a. the Super Cunt. And I'm Justin, a.k.a. Vegetable Maximum. On today's show, we have an absolute ton to cover. We'll be taking a look at the Kathy Woods ARK Invest. Michael's going to give us an explanation of tobacco Twitter and why you need to know what it is. Jeff's going to be sharing some excellent DT on Queen Alka and her role with the FDA. Henry's got the Henry's House of Gains and Quadruple Witching. We got the Jefford effect. A lot more. You're not going to want to miss any of it. Stay locked in with us, and let's get right into it. Jeff, I'm hoping you can help me. What have they done to my boy Bingo? What happened this week, guy? What happened?
It's a little down, but he's not out. Last week was not pretty for any of us, I don't think. It was a red week. We can't owe it to BNGO just doing, poorly. It was all across the board.
Yeah, the entire market was down. I mean, NASDAQ, SPY, everybody was down. Dow, everybody was down. So
I'm gonna start calling it the Down Jones.
Yeah, the Down Jones for sure. We saw a pretty strong correction.
Yeah, and the other was also that. Yeah, the webinar where he's discussing OGM, optical mapping, gene mapping, OGM. Yeah. How was your week, Henry? You were traveling across the world.
Yeah, just I got a job offer, so I did a ride along with a buddy of mine that works for this new company. So
yeah,
it was interesting. I think bottom line, I might have a job after over a year being unemployed.
All right, buddy. Congratulations, Henry.
Yeah, thanks. Kind of like being at home, though, and playing with stocks all day, if you know what I mean.
We missed you on the Discord.
I hated it. I want you to not take that job and just stay and hang out because it was horrible without you. I got to say.
It was, man. You bring a certain, how you say, je ne sais quoi.
Henry sais quoi.
Yeah, I don't know. It was rough being out on the road, hitting up Reno and Utah and Vegas and back to Cali, but we'll see. If they make me a job offer, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up taking it.
All right, man. That's solid, though. That's solid for sure. I love it. The market was a kind of a mess this week. We want to talk about that a little bit.
Well, rumor has it was like a stock rotation, right? I mean, everything was just moving out of tech and just going into value stocks. So, but I think that's short-lived because last time they did a tech rotation to value stocks, I mean, it bounced right back in about a week. So it's really hard to predict.
Yeah, I definitely see that as a lot of people talking that people are moving from growth into value and safety, inflationary concerns, and that kind of stuff going on for sure. And Bingo in particular, I mean, going into this week, we're 95% retail held, right? So we're going to feel these macro movements way more than, some super safe AT&T, GE kind of, not a safe stock. But you know what I mean? Like, I know what you mean. You're not going to, we're going to get slaughtered on bloody days.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, last week was pretty red. I have a ton of alerts where, you buy the fucking dip, right? So I have all these alerts and man, I got to tell you, all my fucking alerts went off and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And, it's like, if I had money, if I had capital, I'd be buying the fucking dip on everything.
I ran out of money.
I ran out of money. Capital's gone. Margin is
That was the
maxed.
same.
But there was so much stuff on sale. It was ridiculous.
Dude, some crazy things that were on sale this week. DNMRH. Holy shit. That was trading for 60 plus like 2 weeks ago. It was in the mid 30s this week at the end of the week.
I did a margin YOLO on CPSH at like 8 a.m. on Thursday, and I sold it at like 8:45 or something like that, and made like $400. Something well, everything was just like, and then coasting. Like it was this weird.
Did you watch?
It was super weird.
Did you watch it dip all the way down to 14? Did you see that?
No, I bought it 18, so like I didn't see the whole dip. I was just watching it kind of climb back, and I was like, oh, all right, cool, let's grab it and find out.
Right. Good call.
I think we're going to see a lot more opportunities like that coming out of this week.
I think you're going to see a lot more opportunities because you got margin play now.
I let go of my fucking money, so now I'm in a real brokerage. I can use margin and shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Moving on up.
That's exciting. Exciting.
Is there any other news that we're missing? Any other events?
The GME squeeze came back.
Oh,
I mean,
that happened.
Get
200 even.
I don't know if you guys remember when Melvin Capital said, hey, they're out, right? But then they had doubled down. Well, if they doubled down at that moment in time, January 28th, give or take, 30 days out, that's February 28th, and they're building interest. And what is WSB doing? Man, Wall Street Bets is squeezing it again. They're up to like 9 million degenerates right now, and you know what?
Almost 10. Yeah.
They like the stock. They like the stock, right? Yep. They like it. It ain't going nowhere. They're not fucking selling. That's for sure, right?
Not fucking selling it.
There is some compelling BD out there right now about not only the gamma squeeze, but like an actual short squeeze happening.
I believe you're right, man. I think there's another squeeze happening. And I did you see the news research that came out recently? I mean, they're talking it's going to be happening, and it's going to be a great segue for my quadruple witching. March 19th is the expected day for GME to have their fucking MOAS, right? MOASS. You guys know what that is, right? The mother.
You called this.
Mother of all short squeezes.
Yeah.
You were bringing up the quadruple witching thing like weeks ago. So I've been
dropping hints.
This shit.
Well, I'm looking forward to that part.
Yeah. So anyway, March 19th, GME is supposed to be like hitting their all-time high. That's when everybody should be just jumping fucking ship and just cashing out. No more diamond hands at that point, because I know there's people been holding from the first squeeze, right? So, I think they call it, they're my souvenir shares. No, man, you're a fucking bag holder. You're waiting to go back up and cash out.
Make your money.
You know what?
Yeah, get your money, get out.
It makes me feel miserable because I know if I had held, I would not have taken such a huge loss on that first play or the first time it went to whatever it went to.
You can't.
I know you can't think that way. It's not healthy. It's just
go back
on yourself out. But knowing that, it just irks me.
And then it irks me too, man. I mean, when I saw 220,000 in my account going, it's at 3:00 in the morning. I'm going, I got 220. That's not enough. What the fuck's wrong with me?
My
3:00 in the morning, the stock's at $514, and I'm going, that's just not quite enough. I need to see, 1,690. I need 1,690, right? We originally were looking at 420.69, the theme number to get the fuck out of GME, but no, we all got too greedy, and guess what? The Melvin Capital got caught onto us, and they reeled everybody in with all the restricted shares. I mean, it would have been the MOAS, but unfortunately, with technology these days, everybody fucking knew what was going on, and next they just fucking slammed it down. But this new squeeze, I don't think the toots were really looking forward to this happening. I don't think they thought we were smart enough, or WSB was smart enough,
or dumb enough
to push another squeeze, right?
Well, it's interesting to see what happens now too, because of what Robinhood pulled last time, which basically put a stop to it. Do we foresee that happening again? Is Robinhood going to try to pull that one again if it gets up to $300-400 again? Like, I'm really curious to see how this plays.
Mm,
You know, GME hit 200 just last Thursday. So, I can see the squeeze coming again if that's the case, because if it's 200, everybody on Wall Street bets are going, oh, it is happening. It's going to happen again. I mean, after looking at $43 and $50 for a little while, and then knowing that they can't go under 50, they have to keep it above 50. So, I mean, WSB is all over this thing. It's going to be pretty crazy. I'm not in it. Just full disclaimer. I'm not in it. Not this time.
I got back in.
Yeah. I know there's a bunch of you guys got back in. I know Mikey did. But
I got back in.
AMC is the same way right now, too. They have a high short interest as well. So
I was thinking about getting into AMC tomorrow morning. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen yet. We'll see.
Yeah.
Where are you at? Where are you in at, Mike?
I got in at 98 for 25 shares, so just under $100. Yeah, so I have a stop loss at $70, so that'll cost me like $750 if I lose out on it if it bounces that low. But I also have a sell at 145.
Dude, that would be huge. That'd be a big
huge.
That'd be a big one.
Dude, I haven't even looked. I think it went down to 99 after hours.
Yeah. So this is you're doing it right. Bears make money. Bulls make money. Pigs get slaughtered.
That's right.
Get your money. You know what I mean? Get your money. I'm hopping in. I'll do it. I'll get in there.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, let's play. It's fun. Yeah. The interest on margin's like 12% though right now, which is it's ridiculous.
Really? I think mine was only 9.
It's cheap. It's really cheap.
It's cheap. Like short term, it's really nothing. It's practically free.
Yep. Free money, especially when you got most of your equity in bingo, because you know that's going at some point.
Yeah, I mean, even on a 3K GME play, I'm still at 80% equity. It's like
solid.
But I took a lot of my gains. I don't know if you guys know, but I maxed out my Roth IRA for 2020 and my Roth IRA for 2021, and I picked a couple of stocks, and they weren't doing too well, so I rotated them out. And I thought I got into a really exciting one, X1. Oh, Jesus Christ. Half my value is gone right now. So it's, I haven't cashed out. I must have bought at the high, but I didn't think it was a high, but it dropped from, my average is 58 right now. It's at 39 or 41 right now. So it's a big, big drop. I did a little more research on X1, and last thing I read was that it was not considered a top stock for 3D printing, which it surprises me because they're like one of the leading companies for 3D printing, especially with that huge military contract.
Yeah, everybody's on the NNDM bandwagon.
Yeah, that one drives me nuts with all their stock offerings. So
I would just say, check out ARC. BioNano announced like a few different conferences and videos that they're going to be releasing in the very near future. We'll be covering those in subsequent podcasts, but check out their website. They added some pretty exciting stuff on there.
They added more webinars this week, right? I didn't really jump into it too much, but I saw them tweet that there was I think Eric is going to be
yes. Yeah, they're talking about mid-March for that, I think.
Yeah, I know they're sponsors for an upcoming event mid-March. I think it's the 15th to the 17th.
Vitrunk was talking about that, and he when he had mentioned it previously, it was in the context of he was surprised because
I thought it was this coming week
and hadn't seen BioNano anywhere on the conference website, and he's like, "This is the conference! Like, I can't believe they're not on here." And then 3 days later, they tweet that they're now a sponsor of the conference.
He's always 3 days ahead of all that stuff. Like,
it's fucking insane.
Stupid. Yeah.
That event is about a week after earnings if it's on the 8th. So that's kind of
that's another thing. Huge question mark. We don't know when earnings is coming still.
That's what? I don't think it's going to be happening this week, to be honest. I was thoroughly convinced it was going to be this week because last year it was March 5th, right? And then when I got that email back from the investors relations guy, Andrew, he said, "Oh, it's going to be about the same exact date." Well, I'm figuring, okay, March 4th, March 5th, right? but there's no indication that they've settled on that date. And March 1st is tomorrow. So, you would think we'd already know what their earnings date would
Maybe
be.
find out tomorrow morning. I think maybe Friday, dude.
That's what I said.
Sick. Yeah.
I said if the earnings is good, it's going to be on the Friday before the weekend, so they can create a buzz, and then the next week set themselves up nice for next week.
The call's at like 5:00 Eastern. It goes on 35, 40 minutes. There's only like an hour and a half left of after hours, and then they got to sit on that shit all fucking weekend, build in demand. People just like, man, I gotta get in. I gotta buy this.
That's the recipe.
Oh,
that's the recipe.
It's gonna happen. I swear, boys.
Bingo cookies.
Cross my fingers for the 5th. So we'll see. If it's not the 5th, it'll be the 8th on Monday. Pretty certain.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jeff. That will be a pretty strong indicator for potentially like
if it's something they don't want to exaggerate or have talked to buzzed about over the weekend, then they'll do it on the Monday.
Yeah, I think fourth quarter earnings is going to be just mind blowing. I mean, it's going to be totally amazeballs for real.
I think when they start talking about forward looking things, like I went back and re-listened to Q3 earnings call. And if they maintain that similar format, yeah, bro, we could really be in store for some fireworks.
The other thing, the SoftBank rejection, like I guess there's some stuff coming out about SoftBank taking companies that they've invested in and then giving them way too much interest and then taking over that company on the turn. And so that's something that could happen to PacBio coming around the turn. And so a rejection of like a high interest loan when somebody comes to you and says, yo, like, here, we know you're going to do well, take some money from us. And you're like, nah, I'm good. Like we talked about it a little last time, like if they don't need that and still they're talking about everything the way they are, there's no reason to think that earnings is going to be anything but a ballpark.
I think that might be their play there for sure. I do think that is probably a good segue for us to move into a pretty popular topic.
What's his name? An ARK?
What's his name?
Simon says.
Yeah. A lot. I was wondering, Jeff, maybe you could talk a little bit about what ARK does a little bit and kind of what an ETF is for maybe some people who don't know what an ETF is.
Right. An ETF is a conglomeration or a group of stocks in a certain sector typically, right? And their performance is reflected on that ETF's chart, like the genomics sector is ARK owns is called ARKG, and they have a whole group of genomic sector companies, and their performance is reflected on that chart. Is that basically about correct?
So ARK Invest as a conglomeration holds about $16 billion worth of assets on any given day at this point in time. I think one thing that's important to kind of talk about anytime you mention ARK is their like broad perspective on markets and investment strategies. It is kind of where I got my investment strategies from and kind of how I got to BioNano. So they are trying to target specifically disruptive innovation in heavy growth sectors. They've got 5 sectors that they are targeting, right?
Right. They have ARK-K, which is the innovation ETF. They have ARK-Q, autonomous technology. ARK-W, which is next generation internet. ARK-G, which is genomic revolution, and ARK-F, which is fintech innovation.
Right. And the internet one is like 5G and artificial intelligence, I think.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
I know nothing about ARK, and I refuse to learn about them. I muted you the whole time you were talking.
You were about to learn some shit.
All right, to recap.
No.
So what I do think is what I wanted to kind of talk about or say, my 2 cents with the ARC thing, is that while there may be some reason to not like ARC, or not like Kathy, a lot of people don't like Kathy Wood or like her research team or not. They do something that no other ETF has done in the past, and that a lot still don't do. And that is they publish all of their research. They do all of their research in the public sphere via social media and the like. They are every single day I get an email from Kathy on the trades that the fund made that day, right?
I like how you said from Kathy.
She personally emails Justin every day.
I don't know. I like to think maybe she does. I like to think maybe she's just, just
like, hey, Justin, hey, by the way, look what I sold today. Look what I bought.
That's right. So listen, if I think though, if you are a retail level investor who is trying to use research to level the playing field, and are trying to snipe disruptive innovation and technologies, then leveraging ARC's information, their publicly available information, if you're not doing that, you should be. Because while you know, whether you like Kathy personally or not, or whoever, their research is solid, and it is information that should be part of your calculus, like big picture calculus, right? Yeah.
Well, what kind of is happening with ARC is there's this social media battle always going on between BNGO and our holders or fans, whatever you want to call them, and then Simon, who is the genomics analyst for ARC, right?
Right.
And how it all started is because Simon himself tweeted the CEO, our King Eric, and wanted to talk to him. This was the end of 2020,
right?
Wasn't it? Like right around the beginning of the year.
It was,
and that's sort of a firestorm, and that is continuing. It's going on almost every day. People are tweeting Simon, and they're trying to convince him to buy or have ARC buy into BNGO with us.
Right.
Bingo.
So I would challenge people to look at the Twitter exchanges and so Kathy Woods she challenges her researchers to reach out into the fields that they're supposed to be researching and talk to the top people in those fields via social media.
It's literally in the job description is to interact with social media.
Somebody's like super into fintech currently right now. ARC is looking for a fintech researcher. So what's out there? But so if you look at the way Simon has kind of handled that role and responsibility in his job, and then look at like the Bitcoin dude that they have, I can't remember his name right now, but look at like the way that he interacts with the blockchain community and development community and shit. It is completely different. It is not even like they do not operate on the same level.
No.
Yeah. So I guess like on a personal level, it's disappointing because I see a lot of entrenchment going on, which I don't know. Well, I do know that is not helpful to me or any other retail investor, I don't think, right? If this tool that I'm trying to leverage all of a sudden starts, developing really biased, entrenched thesis, or, then that all of a sudden, like the weight goes down considerably in my, in my calculus that I'm doing. How much bandwidth should I give Kathy? How much weight should I give Kathy when I'm making a potential investment decision, right? So I think that is maybe some of the frustration in the BioNano retail investment community, that sort of entrenchment is going on there. They are, I don't. We got to remember, like, they have a huge position in sequencing. Their thesis is that sequencing, next generation sequencing, hi-fi sequencing, will be able to do all the things that optical genome mapping currently does, and whatever.
But they're talking future sense, you know. They're not talking about right now. And well, who's doing it right now? Like right now, this instant, it's bio-nano genomics. I mean, they're on top of it. They're producing. All the scientists, all the labs are super excited for it. You know, everybody wants to jump on board because, hey, who wants to wait forever for, you know, results and then pay through the nose for that? You know, just to tell us that, hey, you know, this will be available for you guys in about 3 to 5 years. Who's going to wait when we have the technology now? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
This is funny because our whole point of this segment was supposed to be like, we got to lay off, but I still feel this like it just makes me so mad. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick. I'm gonna do a quick segue into what I wanted to talk about, since it's a perfect time. Then we'll jump right back into where we were.
Tobacco Twitter.
Yes, tobacco Twitter. So the tobacco strategy is really, I guess it's a kind of a lesser known informal fallacy in philosophy. And it started to like take people by storm when tobacco companies, Philip Morris and so on, would find one doctor that would say smoking doesn't give you cancer, right? Smoking doesn't cause cancer. And then it doesn't matter how many other doctors there are that say, yes, it does, yes, it does, yes, it does. They're never going to get on a Philip Morris commercial, right? It's just not going to happen. And so it happens all the time in neuroscience, where you get one doctor that says like, oh, this part of the brain does this. And then the people that are theorizing that want that part of the brain or some part of the brain to do some specific thing probably doesn't. There's very few localized regions that don't interact with each other. It's the whole thing. Anyways, the point is there's a lot on Twitter where people will take one doctor that they like, that says the thing they want to hear, and then focus on that thing and move forward. And so I really wasn't going to talk about like, you know, ARC or He Who Says or all these things. But the point is the back and forth with the individual retailers and Simon especially. There's a really interesting thing that I see, and that is that the individual retailers who are super into bingo generally do this incredibly different kind of DD than Simon does. And what is happening is that people who are super into bingo are becoming these mini experts in this really weird field. And like, I put you guys on that list. Yeah. You know, it's very complicated.
I'm really weird. Yep, I'm right there.
You know, it's crazy to watch. You know, it's something that like, even as somebody who teaches philosophy and these things, like you just don't see people get super into stuff that often. Like it's just a rare phenomenon that somebody's like, man, I'm really into this like weird thing. You know, it's like model trains. You ever meet somebody who's into model trains? They fucking love that stuff. Yeah. And bio
is like, what the fuck are these? What is wrong with these people? Because he is not used to people being like, so can you explain to me exactly like the sequencing,
like structural variant? Yeah,
that's right.
What do you think of novel variants, Simon? Right. He's like, what the hell's going on here?
It's so interesting watching people interact with like Vitronk and even Hold or Hodl, you know. The different people that we have in the Discord that work in medical fields and tech fields in genomics, like, you know, they're getting questions from people. Like the thing about people that aren't experts is they ask better questions than experts a lot of the time. And the reason that is because experts are trained to ask certain kinds of questions, right? So like in philosophy, you know, we get certain kinds of questions that we're supposed to ask at conferences. Why do I care? Why does this matter? This kind of thing. But every once in a while, somebody will show up at a philosophy conference and be like, yeah, but what about, and then throw some crazy stuff at you that you never would have thought about goes together. And then all of a sudden you're thinking about it in a whole different way. And so individual retailers, I've been thinking about it kind of all week. it seems to me that the frustration with Simon and the way he interacts with us as opposed to doctors and things of this sort is that he doesn't take weird questions about things seriously, and so he doesn't research them, and so he doesn't have an answer about like abstractions about the field. He presents certain kinds of things as though he knows what he's talking about. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But the stuff that he presents is from doctors and different people that he has these, open conversations with. And so when people want to interact with him and be like, yeah, but what about this? What about this? The thing that's been strange to me is watching somebody who's supposed to be a tech analyst or a genomics analyst, who's supposed to be something of an expert, block people who ask questions. Like
yeah.
Yeah. So that's my quick, like, the moral of the story is, you can't do it for everything. You can't go out and find the right people to answer the right questions about every little thing. But what you can do is when there's something that you're interested in, when you know a little bit about it, when somebody says something that rubs you a little bit wrong, try to get 3 to 4 opinions that have something to say for or against, right? So if you just Google something and the first person says, oh yeah, this, like, that's not enough. Like if you were in my class and you Googled something and you gave me an answer from somebody, and I happen to be teaching it, so I should be something of a, I won't say expert, but, I should know some shit about it. Like, if you say something that I know that only one person thinks, like, you're not going to get a great grade on that. You should be able to say, like, this person says this, but also this person says this, and I think this is the better answer because.
Yeah, and Michael, isn't it also kind of in the research like field, the more audacious your claim, right? Like, let's just say, if I was to claim that someone's technology within 5 years will be able to do high speed, low cost, full sequence reads,
including mapping.
Yeah, that would make OGM suddenly obsolete, while simultaneously optical genome mapping does not develop whatsoever. I would probably, if I was going to make that claim, I would probably want to bring some heavy hitting evidence, right, to like support that.
So I'll double down and I'll turn it around. So there's like a Missy Elliott lyric in there somewhere, but
that's gotta be.
So there was this professor.
It was funny.
So there was I'll put Missy Elliott twerking right here on my hand.
Yes.
There was a professor. He passed away, must be 3 years ago. I think it was 2018, 2017. His name was Dr. Rostocker. He worked in physics over at University of California, Irvine. One of the smartest dudes I've ever been able to interact with. And simultaneously, when I was in my teens, I used to have to go to his house and set up his stereo equipment because he always had the newest stuff for his TV, but couldn't quite figure it out. He was like that. He was the old guy that liked the new stuff, but couldn't quite get it right. So my mom used to work for him. And so it was always interesting seeing like how these astrophysicists and quantum physicists coming up couldn't work stereos. It was like my favorite shit in the world. But the point is he one time told me, I asked him something about some new tech. Man, I wish I could remember exactly. Oh, flying cars or something stupid. And he was like, look, anything you can think of, it's already been done, challenged, broken, and redone better at least once or twice. It doesn't matter what the technology is that you as a standard person in the world thinks of. It's been done already. And so, on some level, I think he meant like in the whole universe or something like that. But basically, if we talk about something like the claims that, people are making about something like PacBio being able to do quick, cheap sequencing and long reads, as well as optogenetic mapping, and do it in a time frame that makes it worthwhile to pump into this particular stock, as opposed to really looking at all the things that are going on, what the benefits are. He's basically saying like, look, I don't think they're complementary. In the future, it's going to be the same, if not better, and the disparity is going to be maintained. And when we really look at what's going on, you have people on the other side who are saying like, look, this is what we do with Sapphire. This is what the nano nozzle does to add to that. This is how we can make it come out and sequence possibly over time. if we add all those things together and we look at the price of, the price of the stock in Bingo, the way that it has kind of grown, it seems so strange to me to say that, like, look, so basically what Simon is saying is I am a researcher for an investment firm, and I am heavily invested in this one particular thing. And I also think that this one particular thing over time will do this other thing. And if you asked all the people who work at PacBio, is it going to do this? They would be really, really sheepish to say yes.
Yeah.
They might say it could be, but if you ask, Eric Holman, or you ask, Alka, so what does Sapphire do? What are your plans for the future? What kinds of things does it do now? And what's your timeline? You're going to get a different kind of answer, right? And so, then it becomes up to you to say, like, oh, is it bullshit? How do you feel about that answer? What do you think about that answer? But to just dismiss it as like, I don't see it, when like there's good evidence for it, is very strange for me. And I think that's where some of the tension comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that I would just add to that that PacBio is one of, I don't think it's the largest holding in the ARC-G fund anymore, because they've been selling PacBio. I think they realized they were way too overweight in PacBio, and that there is some rebalancing happening in that fund in particular. But it is still one of their largest holdings, to the tune of.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
PacBio is still one of their largest holdings. Interesting.
Yeah. I think maybe it's the second largest in the fund now. They have a really large CRISPR holding, and then there's a bunch of others. So I don't think ARC-G is not holding BioNano because their thesis is that it's not relevant, that in 3 to 5 years it won't be relevant.
In 3 to 5 years, I would have made my exit out of BioNano, because 1 year is my time frame. So you know what?
5 years is going to be fucking huge. They're wrong.
Technology is going to change regardless. So if he says 3 to 5 years, everything is changing in 3 to 5 years. Nothing's going to be the same. Nothing's going to be consistent.
If anything, I think that in 3 to 5 years, BioNano will be doing reads tue.
Exactly.
Using the nano.
Oh, I agree. They're just going to be able to expand on the technology that they already have and just make huge improvements.
I think that like, why would we need ARC invested in BioNano?
I agree. I can respect the ETF. Hey, they're doing a great job. If they choose to put BioNano, in their portfolio, great. If they don't, I don't care. The technology
100%.
is remarkable. The turnaround is intense. We have major company or major hospitals and institutions that want BioNano for what they can do. It's just, hands down, probably one of the best.
I'm going to butt in here with Vitronk's take on this. He had some input that he shared with us on the Discord, so I'm just going to kind of read what he said regarding.
Do we get a whole tech talk?
We don't get a tech.
Hey, let's put it in. Let's put it in.
But this is it.
Tech Talk with Vitronk.
I don't know what that was. Okay, so biotech. This is what he wrote up on the Discord. I'm just going to read it out basically for to share for him. It says biotech companies have four facets. There's a scientific, so how good is the underlying IP or intellectual property? Number 2, application. How well can that intellectual property be applied to real world problems? Number 3, the fit. How competitive is it with other products? And the image, or how are they viewed, particularly by people who matter? So section B here says, in the grand scheme of things, who gives a crap what ARC does? The science speaks for itself. The customers will decide how well it is applied and how well it fits. At the end of the day, ARC is not the judge of good science, nor is it the decider of what applications or fit the technology has. They simply make educated guesses about the future of biotech. That's Simon's job, basically. They aren't even or don't own Illumina, despite Simon praising Grail, which is about to be acquired by Illumina, which is I didn't know, and I find that pretty interesting. He says companies that have a complete grasp of facets 1 to 3, which is scientific, application, and fit, don't have an issue with number 4, which is the image. Bingo, on the other hand, came from penny stock land. So it's like growing up in a trailer park and getting accepted to Harvard all of a sudden right here. People are going to, yeah, people are going to look at you funny, right? That's why we look at Mike funny.
I knew it. Yes.
The best thing, I'm going to highlight this part. Sorry, not this one. The best thing you can do is ignore them and just be yourself when you're living on the trailer park going to Harvard. BioNano doesn't need hype.
Can I touch something on
underlined? Or I underline that part. It needs investors to settle down, quit pumping it like it's some meme stock, hodl on, and diamond hand that shit to the moon. So Section C says ignore the more people engage with him, the more opportunity he has to share bad takes with others. So
that's one last part.
Yeah, Vitrunk's really got a way of
BioNano's commercialization potential is very young, as they only recently broke through into an otherwise untouchable space. So we haven't even had our first earnings report since the price exploded, and that's just coming from last quarter, not this current one.
Tech Talk with Vitron.
So, boys, now what is our next segment? What are we moving on to?
Excited about this. It is time for Henry's House of Gains.
Henry's House of Gains.
House of Gains.
I just want to touch on that quadruple witching. You guys have been dropping hints in the Discord almost like every week, maybe every 2 weeks or so, because March 19th is supposedly the day that quadruple witching actually happens. But prior to that Friday the 19th is where we're going to see a lot of volatility, I believe. But the reason why they call it quadruple witching is because that's the day where stock index futures, stock index options, stock options, and single stock futures expire simultaneously. So there's 4, hence the term quadruple, and they're all happening all at one day. So Friday the 19th of March, which is 2 weeks from now, is going to be pretty volatile. So if you're planning on playing any stocks, buying, trading, or whatever, unless you really know what you're doing, I would say just stand back and just watch the show, to be honest with you. Otherwise, if you really want to get in there, you're going to see some serious volatility. I watched it last year, and my mind was blown how fast this thing moves and goes. So if you go and put a buy order in, make sure you have a sell order attached. So you have an OCO order. So you buy it and sell it. So, you want to buy something at 30. When it hits 40, you're out. Just do an automatic limit order and just be safe with it. Okay. But, I'm not a financial advisor or an advisor of finances. So
I will say the kind of advisor you are. The kind of advisor you are is a Thinkorswim advisor. And this dude is a Thinkorswim monster. Like you see not only the patterns and the charts and that stuff's cool, but you have this particular way. You taught me so much about how to set up Thinkorswim, how to go about customizing it, what maybe I should be thinking about, and not even just like do this. It's like, well, if you're trying to do something like this, you can go down this route, try this stuff out, test this stuff out. Taught me about OCOs. And so like, in a second, like what is an OCO? What does it stand for? What does it do?
OCO basically says one cancels another. So if you have an order in to buy, and as soon as it buys, you want it to sell at a certain, dollar amount. So one cancels the other. Once you buy it, it cancels out on the sell. So you can have an OCO order. So that's what that means. So you don't just go in and buy something. It's a limit order that you have prearranged, and you send it, and then when it hits your number, you're automatically out. You don't have to babysit it. You don't have to do anything. You just, if it's going up, you get in, make your profit, and get out.
Oh, so you can set an OCO that has the buy on one side, the sell on the other. So say I wanted to buy, we'll just say bingo because we love it. Say I wanted, even though I would never fucking sell. You have
so you're looking at AMC basically. So you're looking at AMC.
Perfect.
There's a squeeze going.
Okay.
You're looking at AMC. There's a squeeze going on. There's talks that it's got a 91% short interest, which is insane, right? I mean, GME was at 140%, but still dropped into like 90% and was still pushing hard. So if AMC is in that similar range, right? So if the squeeze is coming and you're watching it and you're going, this thing is literally taking off. So let's say you're at I think it was 8:01 it closed on Friday. Not that I'm watching it, just being observant. 8:01 is what it closed at on Friday, right? So let's say Monday morning it gaps.
Motherfucker, I sort of.
Let's say it gaps at 10, right? And it's nothing but green candles. You put in an OCO order, which can only be done during market hours, can't be done pre-market or after hours, right? So you put an OCO order right at market open. This thing is still flying. You put in at like 11:50, right? Your order gets picked up, but you want to get out at 12, or 13. So you put it in at 13. So you watch it fluctuate a little bit, but while it's going up, it hasn't backtracked to where you're out. It's still going. Hopefully that makes sense. So you get in at whatever it is, and then you already have your sell order built into your order. You don't have to go back in and make another sell order.
Right. Okay.
So you're already queued in. You're already queued in. You don't have to go, okay, is my sell order going to get picked up, or is it going to get skipped, or is it even going to hit it? It's already queued in on your original order.
Can you set up a stop loss kind of at that same time too?
You can put in an OCO with a stop loss as well. You can.
Okay.
So
wait,
you
but
can
you set a buy? Okay, so I have definitely done buy and sell. Right, so like you showed me those.
Right.
You also showed me sell and stop loss. The sell has to be on the left, the stop loss goes on the right, and then you make sure that the sell is, what you want your limit to be, and then the stop is, below that, and then that's the OCO that way. But can you do a buy, sell, stop loss in one shot?
Yeah, that's also under the OCO under Thinkorswim.
That's so sick. You just changed this whole week for me. We're about to make money.
And then you set it all up to hotkeys, fam. So that
I want to get hotkeys figured out.
See, that's where I've gotten my hands off the desktop. I'm strictly on phone, believe it or not, for my trades. And I know it's hard to believe that I've got, over 200,000 sitting on it by just being on the phone. I have no hotkeys. I set my orders.
You're in an investment, you're not day trading or anything, so that's just perfect.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm like 90% bingo.
I do day trading too. I'd never be able to do that on my phone.
Right, and I do have some long shots on there too, so I'm holding on to see how those pan out.
Cool.
But quadruple witching, just be real careful March 19th. And like I said, coincidentally, that is the day that the MOAS is supposed to happen for GME. So, that's something you want to kind of keep an eye on. If you really want to play GME, I would say ride the waves that are happening right now. Ride the hypes. These short sellers that are in right now, they want to sell and cover their shorts. It's going to spike. Get in low, cash out, because it's going to drop. It's going to do this numerous times before the 19th, in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion only. So I'm not an advisor of finances. So I'm just saying.
So Henry, I guess you would say you're
volatility leading up to quadruple.
Henry, are you more of a MOAS guy?
A MOAS guy?
MOAS?
Oh, I'm definitely a MOAS guy.
Come on, guys.
Looking for MOAS. It just
MOAS.
I can never get my hands on MOAS though, unfortunately.
Missy Elliott twerking on my hand again. Okay.
Sweet.
Fucking love it.
Right on.
But we all know what MOAS stands for, right?
Mother of all short squeezes.
That's right. Mother of all short squeezes. That's what it stands for.
Yourself on that ride, then you are doing good.
Yeah. So whether it actually happens on the 19th is going to be hard to say, because if you look back on the 2007 Volkswagen squeeze, where there was no technology, you had to call a broker on a phone. The time frame involved. That short squeeze was insane because it was all manual labor. Now everything with technology, everybody knows what the hell's going on. Melvin Capital is probably they know instantly what the hell's going on. They're going to say, hey, Robinhood, do the same thing, restrict it,
Well,
it's.
Yeah. I wish the whole GME thing would stop, because it's not healthy for the market. It's showing a weakness that, Wall Street Bets is taking advantage of. And it's scaring investors, because the next stock could be theirs that they do this to, and it can wreck it.
Right.
It can go up and make them a lot of money, but in the long run, I think it's not healthy for the stock.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I think three, but just as a side note, I think three of the biggest squeezes that I saw in Wall Street Bets right now is GME, AMC, and I think it was either knock or cost. So it's one of those, 3 or 4 that they're focusing on right now.
Are they into ZOM? ZOM?
I did not see ZOM on the high end of that list. If they are, it's on the lower end of the list.
Because that's my Jefford effect pick this week.
Ooh, ZOM, really?
Ooh. Well,
I would say you're going to be. I would say you're going to be okay on that one. I don't think that's one that they're pursuing at the moment.
Well, I full disclosure, I'm in ZOM right now. I have some shares, and I was watching the chart there on Friday, and earnings was released at the end of the day, and then as it was it closed at 177 and it spiked up right at the close up to 199, almost pretty much $2, and then it dropped down and it was carried up back up to 199 again. Their earnings report was they're not in the green yet. They're hang on, I gotta bring it up. Their losses just weren't as bad as the previous year. I'll read it here. It says Zomedica recorded net loss and comprehensive loss for the year ended December 31st, 2020 of approximately 16.9 million or 5 cents per share, compared to a loss of approximately 19.8 million or 19 cents per share for the year ended December 31st, 2019. So they're going in the right direction now, finally. I'll read here to what the CEO says. Robert Cohen, Zomedica's chief executive officer, commented, "While we are thankful for our substantially improved balance sheet, we continue to be good stewards of our funds by remaining efficient in our operations as we prepare for the upcoming commercial release of Truforma." And that's, I believe that's a medication or medicine for pets. Or do you guys know anything about Truforma? I should have looked into this myself.
No.
I kind of doubt you guys know anything about it. Anyway,
I think you're pretty safe from the squeeze, though. I think as far as stocks being normal, being based on fundamentals, I think you're going to be okay on that one. Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be crazy. I'll say again too.
My last pick was I'm having a brain fart here. What was it? You guys remember?
Oh, it was was it NNDM? No, INM. No. INMN. What was it?
No.
Yeah. INMN.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah,
INM, as in I make no money. Yeah,
that's right.
So
I wrote that down.
Yes, when I called it, it was around 30. I think it was $37 a share, and then it got up to 48, I believe, during the week. So when I make a call, it isn't for the next day or the day we release the podcast.
It's an investment
for the entire week.
The Jefford effect.
I'm just going to look up. I'm
gonna open a paper money secondary account, and all it's going to be is the Jefford effect account. And I'm going to YOLO 250K at the beginning, and we'll keep track of it.
I hope you do that.
Right now, in after hours trading, it closed. Right now, it closed at 38.85. Not right now. It was Friday. So
you're talking about
it's up to $1.85 from when I called it, but it got up to. It did spike up to, where's the high? 48.70. So I called it at 37 and it went up $11. So anyway.
So that's like a 30. So yeah, if the Jefford effect calls 30% gains, like I do want to say something that Henry and Jeff have been instrumental in helping me cultivate my trading zen. It's take gains, be stoked about it, right? Like don't, if you could have got 50% and you got 25, bow down to it and be stoked about it. Don't let that next time I'm gonna wait for 26. Like don't do that. Be happy with your gains. You made the right call. You got in. You got out. You did the right thing. And so like the synthesis of Henry's House of Gains and the Jefford effect for me is listening to those words of advice. I think.
Thank you.
Do what I can.
Yeah. I lost my thought.
So that was your pick, and that was ZOM.
That was my pick. That's it. Yeah, ZOM.
I think my pick. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was TRXC, but with the market doing this huge stock rotation, changing sectors, because TRXC would be considered a tech stock, I believe, and it just rotated right out into value stocks. So there's really not much I can say other than it's red. I think everybody's red. There's not much green out there right now for hardly anything. So if I was going to make
what's your price target for bingo this week?
This week, I think we're going to see a huge recovery. If anything, I would say by midweek, maybe 12. And then by the end of the week, we'll probably see some hype up to 14. And if earnings actually comes out this week, it might be a lot higher than that, probably pushing 18 to 20, realistic. So I know I'm a bull. I should be saying 20, 25. Okay, let's go for 50.
Yeah. I actually thought that was a great call. I thought that was a great call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. I see 12 if things turn around. If the market isn't red on Monday morning and everything's dumping, then I could definitely see 12 midweek and 14 at the end. I don't think that the stock price is going to be changed by the earnings though, because I think that will be the latest. It will be after close on Friday, in my opinion.
Good point.
But I'm going to go with the same. I'm going to go with what Henry said. I'm going to say 12 and 14. 12 mid. I say 14 maybe midweek.
Yeah.
Or sorry, end of week.
There's a good possibility it might gap up tomorrow anyway. So, we're sitting almost 10. I can see it gapping easily to 11, by the time we open up Monday. So that would be a good start. We'll have to see where it goes from there.
So what's a fire sale price for bingo this week? Like if you were going to tell one of your homies, like, yo, if you were going to get into this, what's the price right now? 9?
Right now.
10.
Right now. I don't.
Now, get in now because you're not going to see this too often. With the stock rotation, we really saw it dip down pretty low. I had a heart attack when I saw that 8. I was like, I'm turning off my phone. I'm not even going to look. Fortunately, it bounced back up into 10 after that, but we're just floating about 10. And
if you look at kind of everything else, I thought that we did really well in terms of resistance against this just bloodshed. Like, yeah, okay, we everything kind of tanked in it, but to stay between 8 and 10 when 2 weeks ago even we were so stoked to break 11, and then we hit that 13, it was cool. We hit that 15, also cool. But any way you slice it, this is for a 4-week period. Such a nice thing to see. Like if you go back, just to November, you still see this unbelievable.
Yeah, we're still I'm feeling
good.
Yeah. I think so too, for sure.
Justin,
all right, well, guys,
what's your thoughts? Did you have a end of week price, Justin?
Did you listen? I gotta tell you, I'm hesitant because obviously my price target for last week got fucking hammered.
You got halved.
Listen,
yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
I'm going to say 1665 end of week. 1665. Wow. That's
1665.
1665. You know what? I'm going to top you and say 17 for the end of the week. That's we're talking after hours. 17 solid.
2 weeks in a row, I said 17, and I've been made a fool. So I'm trying to be more conservative.
I'll take that full spot for you because I'm a full bull.
Yeah.
Full bowl, baby.
Full baby.
Full bowl.
Note, we're going to wrap the show up. It's been a fucking amazingly fun hour and a half with you gentlemen.
Yeah.
Once again.
I noticed we have 55 subscribers on YouTube now. I think it's 55. So if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, and hit the bell.
Yeah.
I was also watching the numbers on the streams. Spotify is doing quite well. It's been up 300, 400 listens every week.
Holy moly.
On iHeartRadio, it's doing pretty reasonably. On what's the other one that we're on? Apple Music is somewhere in the 450 range. So when you start combining those numbers, it's not too bad, right?
Hey, people out there
like
us.
Surprising.
They really like us.
Well, we have 9,000 subs to the subreddit, right? So 9,000 members in the subreddit, and we love everybody over there. And so go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say sorry. I was just going to say sorry to the subredditors that we didn't have time to get into the questions this week, so we're going to do them next week. So thanks for contributing to that thread.
I want to say to everybody on the sub, like, great job not shit posting this week. I know everybody had a hard week. For the way the week went, everybody stayed pretty positive. Everybody in the lounge kind of kept it together. I didn't see insanely bearish sentiment for the way that the rest of everything was, like we tend to. And I was really happy about that. I didn't have to do a lot of modding, which is great because I'm lazy. But
shout out to all the subs that work.
Shout out to Star Bear.
Yeah.
Star Bear.
The mods that are working on the subreddit too, they're doing a great job. Well, I mean, it's a hard job, so yeah.
But I think one of the good things was because everybody knew it wasn't just bingo that was down, so I think there was an understanding at that point. So not too many people were saying, "Why is it dropping? Why are they selling off?" It was a lot less. It was more tame this time around.
The cool part about it tanking is we get to live through these 10s, 11s, and 12s. 12-13. It's at 12-15. We get to live through this exciting experience all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost at 13. Oh my god.
Wait. So, really quick before we get out of here, does anybody know if there are any PacBio or Illumina or CRISPR podcasts out there?
Oh, I thought you wanted to know if they were on sale on OfferUp or Craigslist. Sorry, I didn't know where you were going with that, but OfferUp popped in my head.
I thought it would be fun to reach out to one of them and see if we could get somebody to come and rap with us a little. But
I'll have to look into it. See. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe, and you can watch us or hear us on Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple iPods or Pods. I don't know. We're everywhere.